The iPhone 5S was released on the 20th of September 2013, making it almost 11 years old now, yet some of you are still considering getting this device here in 2024, so in this video, we're going to be talking about the specs of this device and whether or not it's still worth getting here in 2024. So let's start off by looking at the design of the iPhone 5S. So we still have the headphone jack. This was removed 3 years later on the iPhone 7. And of course we have the home button. And on the sides, we have the old style volume buttons with the plus and minus symbols. And at the top, there's the power button, which is normally supposed to be on the sides. And another interesting feature is that this device also has a square design, which was removed on the iPhone SE and added back later on the iPhone 12. And if you look at the back of the iPhone, there's really nothing interesting here. We just have a camera as well as a flashlight. And this device also comes in 3 different colors, which are space gray, which is one that I have, as well as gold and silver. And the space gray color is black on the front, while the silver and gold models are white. I did also forget to mention that this device has a similar design to the iPhone 5 with a 4-inch screen from one corner to the other. And that's really all there is to cover about the design of the iPhone 5S. So let's now talk about the speeds. So this device comes with an A7 chip, and if we compare that to the latest iPhone 15 Pro, the 15 Pro has an A17 Pro chip, so it is a huge difference. And as for the RAM, this device comes with 1GB of RAM, and for comparison, the latest 15 Pro comes with 8GB. So obviously this device is not going to run fast at all, so the speeds are really something that you need to consider when buying this device. This device was also the first one to come with Touch ID, and it also, for the storage, it has 16, 32, and 64GB. The one I have here is 32, and if you do plan on getting this device right now, I would strongly recommend that you go for the 32 or 64GB models because the 16GB is too low. Now that is it for the hardware of the iPhone 5S. Let's move on to the camera. So this device can take 8-megapixel photos, which have a resolution of 3264 by 2448. And the camera software on the iPhone 5S comes with some awesome features such as automatic digital image stabilization, dynamic tone mapping, as well as 10 frames per second burst mode, and slow motion video at 120 frames per second. While you're taking videos in Full HD on the iPhone 5S, you can also take photos at HD quality. An analysis done by the GSM Arena suggests that the 720p slow motion video quality actually resembles 480p, so if you take videos in slow motion, the camera quality won't be that high at all. I did also forget to mention that the highest video quality that you could reach is at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now that's pretty much all there is for the camera quality of the iPhone 5S. Let's now talk about the software support. So this device goes up to iOS 12.5.7, and it did get security updates until about last year. So the software of this device is going to be quite outdated, and this device also shipped with iOS 7. So the last thing we need to cover for the specs of the iPhone 5S is the battery. So this device has 1,560 milliamp hours of battery life. And just for comparison, the 15 Pro has 3,274 milliamp hours, and the 15 Pro Max has 4,441 milliamp hours. So before we talk about whether this device is worth buying, let's talk about the cost. So this device is really cheap. It costs about 20 to 30 bucks depending on the storage and whether or not the device is locked. And this one here is just $19. So do I recommend getting the iPhone 5S in 2024? Well, my answer would be no, and that's because it's just too slow. This device can make for an awesome MP3 player, but it can't do much more than that because it's a really slow device, so you won't be able to perform very basic tasks. So instead, my best alternative for you would be the iPhone SE first generation, which you could get for between 30 to 35 bucks, or if you're worried about the battery life, you could go for the iPhone 6s, which costs about 40 to 45 bucks. Also, like I said earlier, don't go for the 16GB model. It won't be enough storage to get you by in 2024. Now that is it for the iPhone 5S review in 2024. I hope you all found this helpful, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my channel to see more videos like this in the future.